My brother moved into my house after his divorce, then slept with my wife in our guest room. So I destroyed them both, quietly. When my younger brother Adam, 30 Mammoths, moved into the guest room, I thought I was doing the right thing. He'd just gone through a rough divorce. His ex took the house, the car, even the dog. He looked broken, thinner, quieter, like someone who'd lost a war and barely crawled back alive. My wife Lena was the one who insisted we take him in. He's family, she said. You'd want someone to do the same for you. She wasn't wrong, so we let him stay for a few weeks. Those few weeks turned into 2 months. At first, it was fine. Lena cooked extra. I took him out for beers. We stayed up late watching dumb movies like we did when we were kids. But then I started noticing things. Little things. Like how he never knocked when entering a room. How Lena laughed harder at his jokes than mine. How I'd find him in the kitchen with her, just the two of them, whispering and suddenly quiet when I entered. Once I walked into the living room and saw his hand resting on her lower back. It slid away the second he noticed me. I told myself I was paranoid. But it kept happening. Then came the night that changed everything. I'd just gotten home late from a work trip. The lights were off. I walked in quietly so I wouldn't wake anyone. Didn't even take off my shoes. That's when I heard it. Laughter, low, breathy, and not coming from our bedroom. It was coming from the guest room. I crept down the hall. The door was slightly open. I saw Lena, my wife, sitting on the edge of the bed, her hands in Adam's. They were close. Too close. He brushed her hair behind her ear. She didn't stop him. She leaned in. That's when I stepped in. The shock on their faces, I'll remember it forever. They jumped apart like teenagers caught sneaking out. Lena stammered. It's not what it looks like. I didn't say a word. I just turned and walked out. Not of the room. Of the house. Because if I stayed, I might have done something I'd regret. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in my car in a 24-hour grocery store parking lot, staring at the windshield, heart pounding like a war drum. My wife, my brother. In my house. In my guest room. It wasn't just betrayal. It was planned, comfortable, practiced. That wasn't a first-time moment. That was routine. The next morning, I drove back home. They were sitting at the kitchen table. I could smell coffee. Adam looked like he hadn't slept. Lena's eyes were puffy. Neither spoke. I sat across from them. Calm. Almost too calm. I'm not going to yell, I said. I'm not going to throw things, but I do need answers. Lena opened her mouth, but I cut her off. Don't lie. If you lie, I walk out and never speak to either of you again. A long pause. Then Adam said, quietly, It started a month after I moved in. Lena whispered, It was a mistake. I laughed. A mistake doesn't happen multiple times. It wasn't an accident. It was a choice. They sat in silence, ashamed, or maybe just caught. I stood up. Okay, I'm going to work. I'll be back tonight. Pack your stuff. They both looked up, confused. Both of you, I repeated. I want you out. Lena started crying again. Please, let me explain. I shook my head. Save it. I didn't go to work that day. I went to my lawyer. I didn't just want to hurt them emotionally. See, I wanted consequences. Real ones. So I made a list. Freeze joint accounts. Serve divorce papers with cause. Dig into Adam's finances. Tell our parents. On both sides. Collect evidence. And here's the thing. Adam didn't just betray me. He was also on parole. His ex didn't just take the house because of a divorce. He'd been caught stealing from her company. She cut a deal. No press, no jail, if he disappeared quietly. Guess who still had that documentation? Me. From the divorce folder he left on my printer when he moved in. So I called his ex-wife and gave her everything. By the time I got back home that evening, they were gone. No note, no apology, just silence. And a few hangers left swinging in the closet like ghosts. Perfect. I didn't want their words. I wanted results. 2 days later, I met with Adam's ex-wife, Rachel. We had coffee like old friends. Strange, considering she once tried to warn me about him and I brushed it off. She slid a thick file across the table. Bank records, screenshots, even an old voicemail. You're not the first person he's used, she said. But I'll be the last, I replied. Together, we made a plan. She still had contacts at the company Adam used to steal from. A small local warehouse that never pressed charges, but never forgot. I sent over all the proof. 2 days later, a legal complaint was reopened. Meanwhile, the divorce attorney moved fast. I froze every joint account Lena and I shared. She had no access to anything now. The car was in my name. The house? Mine too. She texted me once. You're being cruel. We made a mistake, but this is extreme. I didn't answer. Instead, I forwarded her message to the lawyer. He smiled and added it to the file. But the final blow? That came at my parents' anniversary dinner. They'd invited the whole family, even Adam. I arrived early, helped my mom with the flowers, kissed her cheek and smiled. Then I asked, Do you mind if I say a few words after dessert? Of course, honey, she said. After the cake was cut and glasses clinked, I stood up. Thank you all for being here. I just want to share something personal, something about family, loyalty, And what happens when you take both for granted? Adam went pale. Lena, sitting 2 seats down, visibly froze. I took out my phone, scrolled to a photo, the one from the night I caught them, and held it up. Faces dropped. My uncle gasped. My dad whispered, "Jesus Christ." I looked at Adam. "Next time you move into your brother's house, maybe don't screw his wife in the guest room." Lena burst into tears. Adam stood up, ready to say something. But my mom beat him to it. She slapped him. Right there, in front of everyone, and said, "You're not welcome in this family anymore." After the dinner, everything unraveled. Fast. Adam tried to spin it. Said I was exaggerating, said Lena had seduced him, said I was emotionally distant. No one bought it. Our parents cut him off completely. My dad told him not to come back. My mom, she changed the locks on her summer house where he used to crash. Lena? She moved in with a friend for a while, then tried to reach out again. She called me late one night, sobbing, saying she missed what we had. I let it go to voicemail. Then I sent her lawyer the final divorce agreement. Full asset retention on my side. She had no fight left. She signed. As for Adam, he wasn't done paying. The company lawsuit went through. Turns out he'd never fully cleared the books. And now, with my help, they had enough to pursue charges. A week later, he was arrested. Embezzlement. It wouldn't be prison for life, but it would be public. It would be humiliating, exactly what he deserved. I spent the following months in peace. I repainted the guest room. I changed the locks. I donated every single thing Lena left behind. Her jewelry, her shoes, even that dumb live, laugh, love sign she insisted on hanging in the hallway. I started going out again, reconnecting with old friends, breathing. And I felt something strange one morning as I stood in my own kitchen making coffee alone. Not rage, not grief, just clarity. They tried to take everything from me, my home, my trust, my family. But in the end, they lost everything. I lost 2 liars and I got my life back.